Good morning, guys, from San Francisco. It is a gorgeous day today and a very exciting day as I'm finally, after 2 years, going to be going back to Europe. Today I'll be flying on Lufthansa over to Frankfurt in economy class. It's kind of a last minute thing, so I didn't get a chance to get a good deal on a business class seat or anything, but I think I do have 3 seats to myself on the 747-8. It's about a 10-11 hour flight, probably the longest flight I've ever done. So let's get this thing rolling and head to the airport. There we go. I was going the right way. I'm not dumb after all.
As this video was shot still during COVID, the flight would not be that completely full, but there'd still be a healthy amount of people traveling today with me to Germany, so check-in wasn't entirely quick this afternoon. Nevertheless, I did eventually scoop my way up to one of the economy class check-in agents. Lufthansa and Swiss both share the same check-in space here. No surprise, as the Lufthansa group owns Swiss. But luckily for me and everyone else here, there'd only be one flight departing from SFO to a German-speaking country today.
And both boarding passes. So you go to gate G13, boarding starts at 2:15. You're boarding with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Check-in was not that bad. The classic duty-free shops. Already looking like Europe. I love this terminal. It's one of the nicest terminals, definitely the nicest in the Bay Area. You'll always know you're in an international terminal when you see stores like Gucci and Prada and all that jazz. I told you guys I love this Japanese place down here, and it's in this terminal. So that's exactly where I'm gonna head. It's 1:10, lunchtime, time to get some dumplings. Plus my gate's all the way down here too. There it is, guys. Tomokazu. Thank you.
As I made my way to the end of the terminal, it was nice to finally start seeing lots of wide bodies again, even though things were still not back to normal in the slightest. There's just a certain feeling I get when traveling international to Europe that you can't replicate with any old domestic flight, and seeing that an outdoor terrace was right at my gate, I took the opportunity to get some fresh air next to the Queen of the Skies and really soak in what was about to happen again, finally. So I've previously flown on Lufthansa's 747-400, which is the smaller version. This is the -8. More seats on the upper deck. I believe before the new 777X is coming out, this was the longest passenger plane in the world. Really crazy. The seating on board is 343, so it's incredibly wide. It's gonna be one heck of a flight. Almost 11 hours. Still can't believe I'm going on this thing. I don't think this is going to be a particularly full flight. It seemed like there was a lot of empty seats. That's always good for international. Not for the airline, but for us passengers, especially in economy. You know what I mean. Here we go. Thank you. Can't wait.
The second one to the right.
It's definitely for real now. I will be sitting back in economy on the lower deck of the 747, but to get there, I first passed by some business class seats, a small 36-seat economy section, 32 premium economy seats, and finally the rest of the 244 economy seats on board, for which I'll be in 32K for the transatlantic flight. The interior has a slight dated look to it, especially when it comes to the PTVs on the seatbacks and the seats themselves. But there's also a sense of the new Lufthansa as well. Moving into my seat for the next 11 hours, I immediately noticed how comfortable it was, with pretty good legroom considering I'm 6 foot and the length of this flight. It's certainly not a first or business class seat in terms of padding, but with the empty seats next to me, I was pretty fine. They have adjustable headrests up top with the Lufthansa logo on them and a fairly decent recline. The armrests are all equipped with remotes for the PTVs and of course the recline buttons. In between each seat below are universal power outlets. In the reasonably sized netted seat back pockets you can find a safety card. Moving up, a tray table with a foldable cup holder on the outside of it, an adjustable personal monitor, and finally a coat hook. Everyone in economy also received a small pillow and blanket for the trip.
With the cabin crew, however,
Who needs first class?
dropped off from
We got a whole row to sleep. 10-hour flight. Let's go. I should note, guys, about these masks. You're not allowed to wear a cloth mask on Lufthansa. It has to be a surgical or a N95 or something like that. I think we're pushing back. Here we go.
We're now ready for takeoff, so please ensure that your table, the monitor and leg rest are stowed and secured correctly.
That was one of the most stunning takeoffs I think I've ever experienced. That was amazing. So they said today there will be 2 services on this plane. A drink service, and then there'll be some dinner, and after we cross the ocean, there will be a small breakfast service, about an hour and a half till we land. I have probably 6 blankets, 6 pillows. I have my own blanket from home. I will be set. What a large lavatory. It's amazing.
When your entire flight history over the past 2 years consists of mostly 737s and A320s, then you'd probably also think this is pretty large. It doesn't have the newer style that modern jet lavatories have, but it's got a large sink basin, plenty of counter space, large mirrors, and even some cool blue lights up top. As the sun started to set crossing over southern Oregon and Idaho, the flight attendants began preparing for the dinner service on board. Since the cabin wasn't nearly packed, once they came by my row, or rather rolled past me, a nice guy came back from the galley and handed me my food. A couple of minutes later, another few flight attendants rolled by with the drink cart, this time stopping, where I ordered a hot tea with cream and sugar. Now, unfortunately, in those COVID times, Lufthansa did not have meal options in economy. You either chose the vegan option before your flight, or this is what you got. Now, I'm definitely no expert on food and what it's called, so I'll just say for the entree, we got this pasta type dish in a tomatoey sauce with melted cheese on top. Maybe it was just that I was pretty hungry and everything seems to taste just a bit better when you're flying, but I really enjoyed this hot meal. I rarely finish airplane food and this was quite tasty. We also received a stick of cheddar cheese, a pack of Italian dressing for the salad, which I kid you not consisted of 1 tomato and lettuce, a bun with a stick of butter, some Ritz crackers, a brownie for the dessert, and what do you know, metal cutlery.
I did not expect there to be metal cutlery. Wow.
Obviously, this meal as a whole looks like an overseas economy meal, but Lufthansa does put some added touches to it, such as the bowls that everything's located in, and a slightly upgraded cup for my tea instead of the usual paper cups. It also helped that everything was edible, to say the least, and I could enjoy this meal. We didn't have a choice, but it wasn't too bad.
It's so much better than normal. It tastes like a bread from a cruise ship. That's a compliment. Right. Last dessert. Here we go. Let's see how this is. There we go.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in the love.
I'm probably gonna head to bed very soon. They just turned the lights off in the cabin. If I don't get some sleep, I'm gonna be screwed tomorrow. So, the time is currently 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Europe is 9 hours ahead, which means there it is 2 a.m. We have about 7 hours, 45 minutes till landing, about 6 hours probably till breakfast. So I'm gonna try my best here to get some sleep. Time to make my bed, lie flat bed. Here we go. I got about 4 hours. It's really tough to sleep on these planes though. I mean, it's 10 o'clock Pacific time. That means it's 7 a.m. Europe time. So my body's not really that tired. Got about a little less than 3.5 hours left on the plane. So I'm gonna go check out what's in the bag. A little thirsty. Let's see what's in the bag. Okay, so this is like the mid-galley area. In between meal services, they have like a bar, kind of, with some drinks and stuff. It's like orange juice, water, some Sprite and Coke for anybody to take. Water. Bottles of water. Some cashews. And plenty of Kit Kats. And you can also get hot tea and coffee.
This is about the time where if flying from the East Coast, we'd be there already. But thus, I drink this tea, and since the cabin is still dark, let's have a look at Lufthansa's in-flight entertainment system. First off, even though there are remotes, it is a touchscreen, and I'd highly recommend using your finger. From this home screen is where everything can be accessed, such as various movies, TV shows, games, music, audiobooks, and of course, the flight map, which shows we just passed by Greenland. Personally, I did not really use the PTV much on this flight, but just screwing around on it at various points, I found there to be a decently sized collection of content. Like I said earlier though, it is not the most modern monitor in terms of size and responsiveness. In fact, it was pretty laggy. But if you have patience, then you can probably enjoy a movie or two, or three, listen to some music, or just look at how much time is left before you can leave.
I accidentally spilled half of that tea.
As promised from earlier, just about an hour and a half before landing, everyone received a cold breakfast plate. While pretty limited, it did consist of 3 items: a croissant with lettuce, tomato, and mayo, a Nature Valley granola bar, and a small fruit cup. Compared to other airlines, it's definitely not as stingy as some, but there are those that do hand out a second hot meal in economy, and speaking that this is an 11-hour flight, I kind of expected that to also be the case on here.
Right. Breakfast. It's alright. Very thankful I'm back on an international flight after 2 years. 2 long years. Here's to many.
Von 11 Kilometer, es geht hier weiter. Dann auf einem direkten Wege nach Frankfurt. Verbleibende Flugzeit noch circa.
Serious question. How many of you speak German watching this video right now? I know I have an international audience, but I always wonder this stuff. After the breakfast service wrapped up, not long, we began our initial descent into Frankfurt Airport on the European continent. As Poland is my second country, I did really miss coming back over here after a long COVID break and way too many domestic US flights. Europe is vastly different from the US in almost every aspect, and yet the two are connected in almost every way. Lufthansa has always been one of my favorite airlines, period, when coming over here, but did they stack up to how I remembered them pre-COVID? I'll let you know once we land.
With the upper deck, but still a very, very nice flight. It's so nice to finally fly international again. And on the 747-8. Okay guys, and that'll conclude my first international trip in 2 years. It's been a long time coming. I've had to wait through this whole damn COVID thing. It's honestly had to be one of the most comfortable international flights in economy I've been on. The fact it was 10 hours was also nice because it's not like you're time constrained and it kind of affects your mind a little bit. Nah, you got time so you can sleep. Yeah, the service on board was just how I remember it. Lufthansa has always been one of my favorite airlines, if not my most favorite, and I think this flight just proved that. The meals in economy were a little limited. Usually there's a choice of food. This time it was only one, and breakfast was how I expected, but the bar kind of in the mid-cabin was really nice in between. I don't remember that on Lufthansa. All the flight attendants on board, I talked to a couple of them. Really nice. Unfortunately, I guess the purser in the front was a little not nice. She didn't let me go up and see the business class on the upper deck, but for another time. I'm actually going to fly this exact plane back to the US, to LAX actually, so you can look forward to that video in premium economy. But that'll conclude this video from here in Frankfurt Main Airport. I think that's how you say it. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you over there. Catch you on the next one.